Nobody feels no way. Alright. Turn this off. Sorry. Nobody feels no way.
Gotta get my music in
Turn this off. Yeah. Okay, now I was laughing for a minute. Facebook has my link on 404 not found. Negro, get out of here. You ain't allowed to do that. Alright, let me share this to my page. Remember yesterday the image wouldn't even come up. Now it says 404 Negro, your thing is not found. That's what I'm gonna call it today. It's racist. It's gotta be. Racist book. You can't even click on the link now. That's okay. What did I do? Oh yeah, no, I'm sharing out to the page. No, I posted my YouTube link. Yesterday they wouldn't show my picture. Today it just says 404. There is no video at that location. All right. Good morning, everybody. Let me get set up here. Where am I going? Jeckyll Island. That's where I want to go. I'm going to go to Jeckyll Island. Hold on, are we even live yet today? I thought I pressed the button. Maybe it's me. Is it me? Is it me? No, I pressed the button. What am I doing? Think. That's just funny to me. It says 404 not found. Oh, right. Jeckyll Island. Brother told me it was pretty. It was pretty. Jeckyll Island is supposed to be real pretty. I didn't know that. I didn't know this. I need the background. I'm wearing black today. Black. Representation. Jeckyll Island. Creature from Jeckyll Island. I had to look at it yesterday. I had someone asking some questions. So we needed to go down in the depths of what was the Federal Reserve Act, 1913. Good morning. Hang on. What am I doing? Other than showing the 404. I have to put this on the screen. Because you probably don't know what I'm talking about. No, that's not it, right? I'm gonna delete this one. This is bad. Remove. When I share this video to Facebook, check this out. But yesterday they wouldn't even show my black face. They won't show no black face on Facebook. That's how it works. Now it says 404. This video is not there. Don't even click on the link. Somebody is there saying something that's it's going to affect one of our advertisers negatively. So don't even click on the link. I find that hilarious. Or maybe Facebook is having trouble this morning. I don't know. That could be possible. I doubt it. And not in this world. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in coincidences, circumstantial, nothing. I don't believe in none of that. Everything happens for a reason. Now I need to find a picture of Jeckyll Island because it's supposed to be pretty this time of year. Jeckyll Island. Right here, Jeckyll Island. Oh, let's share it. Oh, I can't share it to that page. I can share it to this page. I can't share it to the other page. But that also will get me in trouble. I'm in all kind of trouble. I live a life that just always lands me in trouble for some reason. Out there, and I'm losing my train of thought. I was having fun. I was dancing, Peter Tosh. I don't feel no kind of way. And picture, Jeckyll Island, right? I need a Jeckyll Island, a pretty one. I need a pretty background because I started reading the law again yesterday. Oh, that's pretty. Look at that. That's pretty. That's not. I like the sunset. See the sunset one at the top right? I like that one. But I don't think that demonstrates the power of Jeckyll Island. This one kind of looks like a country club right there. Kind of like that one. No, this is it right here. This reminds me of, who's that? Look like one of the Clinton's mansions or something. Right here. Ooh, and this is in French too. I love the French. Look at this. La Crita di Jeckyll Island. Did y'all see that? That's how you say it in French. Did y'all see it? Hang on, let me, I'm gonna make that my background. You see it on the right? That's the name of this picture. La Critora di Jeckyll Island. It looks like it. I said it in the French way. It's probably not even French, right? I need a pretty Jeckyll Island picture for the background. Look at, I'm gonna show you. The name of the picture right here. This is gonna be my background. Uh-oh, hang on, it's coming up. Lacrita! Or is that, wait a minute, that might actually be Latin. I don't know, it's French right now. It's Lacritora! Yeah, that's Latin, I think. That's like Hispaniola. Cortez, Latin America. Lacritora di Jeckyll Island! La Allons! Viva la France! And they're like, dude, that's Hispanic, man. You misappropriating the picture, man. All right, I'm sorry. I have fun all by myself. You know what? I laugh all the time by myself. There's something wrong with me. I don't know why I enjoy this life so damn much. La Critora de Jeckyll Island! Where's Hogo? Hogo and brother Robert Walker, they probably get upset. Like, is he like really using like my French thing for some damn Latin Spanish? No, actually, I might be right. That might be, is that Italy? That's Italian. Wait, look at this. Look, because it says Richard Rio. Y'all see this right here? Look, it says richardrio.it. See it at the end? It says richardrio.it. That's the name of the website. Richard Cocolata, rio.it. That's Italy. That's Italy, y'all. I can't do an Italy accent. I can't do that. They're like, racism! Report him! Let me put my picture up. Good morning, people. How y'all doing? I'm wearing black today. In representation. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Who told me that? Who was the brother that told me Jeckyll Island was pretty? Look how pretty that is. Look at that. And they got the big buses down there. They're still meeting down there, trying to figure out how to run your world. Look at that. Not trying to figure out, they already got it. Look at that. You can't go there though. Brother Mark told me about Jeckyll Island. He's serving in the military. He said he went down there. He said, oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I'm wearing black today. I was wearing blue, but I did a last minute audible and I decided to wear black because the sister had me looking at the Federal Reserve yesterday. I'm a weird dude. I don't have a life. I told you. I try to tell y'all that all the time. My mama called me yesterday. Are you married yet? I had a good time with that on Facebook last night. I was like, Mama, I'm literally, Wednesday night, I'm reading the Federal Reserve Act of 1915, Mama. It's 112 pages, Mama. It's 112 pages. Women don't want that, okay? I'm trying to save the world. Most women in my country, they want to ruin the world. I'm sorry, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's not at all. I do not blame women for nothing. Women, the only people I make excuses with, they can do anything the hell they want. Born in a jacked up world with some jacked up men doing jacked up things, writing jacked up laws, just completely throwing you out of everything. The only legitimate psychopath on this planet should be women. I know this. They should be psychopaths. I don't know how to do it. I say it all the time. If I was woman, I'd be, oh boy, I can't say it because it'll block the video, but I wouldn't be nice. Oh no, I wouldn't be nice. Hell no. Mama, I ain't married. Come on, man, stop it. Mama, we not going there right now. We just not going there. I got to read the Federal Reserve Act, Mama. Mama, how your feet doing? All right, let me stop before I get in trouble. Let me stop. That's what I was reading last night because people don't seem to understand some critical points. They don't read law, but they keep voting for legislators, and legislators don't read law. That's how I got started doing this. So I'm gonna tell you, this is the name of the video. Don't heckle on Jeckyll. Don't get in the water as if you can't swim. Okay? All right? If you got a life, you got some kids, got a wife, got a husband, you like to go golf and play tennis, do normal people stuff. I don't do none of that. All right? I just sit here and I want to know what's true. I think I might be psychopath. I might be the nice psychopath that like to do research. You know, psychopaths, they like to play with, like the Washington ones, they like to play with kids and the priests and the diddling people and protecting the psychopaths on Epstein Island and all that stuff. I'm like the reverse of it. I like to do research. I read laws. And I don't believe in none of the laws. Don't get me wrong. Bob Marley said all laws are illegal and they're all illegal, but you need to know what's true. All right. 2 simple facts about Jeckyll Island. Don't heckle on Jeckyll, baby. Don't do it, because I go get the raw and I read it. 2 things. Lay to death, but we need to accept some truthful things. 1, the Federal Reserve, which is mimicked all over this planet in every big nation, is a private bank. Okay, it's a private corporation. It makes no sense for your government to print your money. If your government prints your money, it means your government runs your nation. And billionaires can't have that, dummy. Well, special people. The Federal Reserve is beyond a private organization. All right, let me turn the music off. Let me get started. How y'all doing this morning? How you doing? How your mama doing? How your mama doing? Your mama doing? I got on black today because I read the Federal Reserve Act last night. I didn't read the whole thing, but damn it, I read enough of it. I'm doing highlights now because I ain't got time for the 98% monkeys making stuff up. Don't make stuff up. That's a bad, because every now and then you'll run into somebody that likes to do the research and do what your legislators don't do, and they give you talking points. All right. Let me change the music. First, I got to bring the comments up so I can see the comments. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? Everybody doing good. How y'all doing? Good morning. Who's that? Susan? Good morning. Lori, Local Coco, Rebecca. Let me see. I gotta say good morning to everybody that comes in first in the beginning of the room from Jeckyll Island. Always forget somebody to undertake. Lori's just a warrior. I love you to death. Lori, she's sharing it out, posting people, inviting, like, anytime, you know, you can always count on Lori's like a rock. She is like a rock. You can always count on Lori. That's the funniest thing. You can always count on her. Every time one of y'all do your videos, she's always sending me the link, and that means I can take it and share it out on my page till they delete that mother. They're gonna delete that page. I'm gonna be gone. Are y'all gonna miss me when I'm off of Facebook? I'm not gonna be there. They're gonna get the hell rid of me. Hell no. I gotta get it one more time. Does it still say not 404? Hold on, wait, did y'all see it? If y'all came in late, you didn't see it. 404 not found on the video, like that. Go share it on your page. Tell me what it tell me what it said. Because it doesn't even have, remember yesterday, it didn't even have my picture. Now it doesn't even have this 404, ain't nothing there. All this is blackness, ain't nothing there. All right, I don't know why it's so funny to me. It's hilarious. This world is hilarious. I don't know why y'all take this so seriously. Oh, I didn't watch the impeachment last night. I forgot. Dang it. I get so busy. I'm always doing stuff. The impeachment. I wanted to see if Bajorn was gonna impeach Ivar. Did anybody watch that last? Oh, don't you do no spoiler alerts. Don't even think about it. I love the Vikings. That's a great show. History Channel. Great show. After you watch the Barbarians, you need to watch the Vikings. Fantastic show. Support the Barbarians. Barbarians United. Oh, we had some fun. There was some truther drama the other day too. Whew. Oh boy, I don't even know what to do with the truth. I love y'all to death. I don't even know what to do. I didn't post a link yesterday. They was flipping out. We did a watch party. Let me change the music. We did a watch party on Kevin. Oh, Kevin Hart's is amazing thing. Did y'all watch it? I don't get a chance to watch everything, but this was from when did he do this? I'm trying to read that. This was he did a podcast with I think it's called a podcast, right? Where people do the video stuff. With Rogan, Joe Rogan. He did a pod. Oh, it was beautiful. Oh, he said some amazing things. Oh, wonderful things. We did a watch party with it yesterday, and everybody brought the hate. People, let me be clear. I don't know why I have to keep saying this. I don't care who said it. If it's true, it's true. I don't care what religious book it's in. I don't care what scripture it's in. I don't care what president it is. I don't care what nation it came from. I don't even care if they did a genocide. You know why? Because you don't. You're still voting for them. All right. I don't care. If it's true, it's true. All right. The brother said a lot of true things. So I posted the video and started talking about the hate. We're in hate culture now. And of course, I'm not putting nobody on blast, but they came in hating everything. He's saying this and he's a this, he's a shell, he's a banker, he's a blah, 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 he's a da. He got brainwashed somebody and took him and put him in Jeckyll and did something. And I'm like, man, you know he's about to tell you about yourself in a minute. And it actually got to the part where he started telling people about the hate, how we need to stop with the hate. Stop it. You're not better than anybody else. Neither am I. We all a bunch of silly monkeys. How come I can't see my chat? We're all a bunch of silly monkeys on this planet acting like we know and don't nobody know. How come it says subscribe to my own channel? Uh-oh, don't tell me YouTube playing. How can you subscribe to your own channel? I'm gonna try and press the button. I don't know. This is how I do my comments. It says subscribe to my own channel. I don't even know what they're up to. There we go. All right. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Y'all, and everybody sit down and read the Federal Reserve. Active last night with me. Y'all got lives. Y'all rubbing each other's feet and massaging. Y'all married people, got you coupled up, y'all did some stuff. I didn't do nothing. My kids ain't around. My kids ain't nothing to do with me. They said, we getting the hell out of here. Went to college, bought houses, moved out. I only got one left. And he's so interested in his friends. Ain't got no time. Daddy ain't got no time. I mean, daddy got nothing but time. He ain't have nothing to do with no daddy. Damn it. He got stuff to do. I made my kids independent. So I have like permanent separation anxiety. They separated from me from birth. They right out the womb. They're like, we ain't got a whole lot of time, Negro. Who are you? Okay, you daddy? Okay. Listen, all you supposed to do is just give us things, tell us things, give us some data. We're going to make our own mind up. We're going to make our own lives, all right? You ain't no better than me. You're just my daddy, all right? You just got here first. That's the stork brought you first. Don't act like you know everything because you don't know everything. All right? I love my kids to death. They behind nothing to do with me. So I read the Federal Reserve Act last night. So there are a couple things I do want to highlight. But I'm going to read the comments first because yesterday I got off on my rant. It was just gone. I think every Friday we should wear black for free. We should call Friday because we need to do some protests, I think. But they're not like protest. What is it? Is it a protest if you're sitting on your butt? Because I just want to sit on my butt. I'm not going nowhere. Nope. I seen what y'all did to my Occupy kids. I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to sit right on my butt on the internet as long as they allow me to do this from the safety of my own home or wherever the hell I'm at. Sit on your butt protest. Every Friday, everybody wear black. It'll be like Jeckyll Island Friday. Maybe. I don't know. We need something that rhymes. Things that rhyme, they go better. But we need to remember who runs this world. We need to keep it in mind. We need to scream it from the highest hills, okay? Who runs this world? So anyway, my highlights from rereading parts of the Federal Reserve Act of 1913 to clarify a few key points. All right, few key points. I don't have notes, so I probably get the names wrong. Bottom line, America has never printed its own currency. Okay, let's just put a few facts and just lay out this bag of snakes so we can stop having this discussion. America has never printed its own currency. There were a few times in the past where the federal government tried and never stuck. It was always a bunch of private banks throughout the states that were printing their currency. Okay? Can we get that clear? And so when the whole Jeckyll Island thing came together, the goal was to make one massive private bank. Why? Because when you have diversity, you can't have cronyism. That's why. You can't buy a federal government that doesn't have a federal currency. You have to go around buy all the little small banks, the mid-sized bank, the state banks. But you needed a federal currency to leverage against the federal government. So let's clarify a few things. I make this real simple because I don't want to talk about it. I'd rather look at the old because I only know what's happening in the old. I might need to go to my bunker and hide. The Federal Reserve is a holding company out of Washington, D.C. Okay, they're a holding company. They are privately owned and they have shares. Okay, that is not a federal department. They have shares. The shares can only be bought by banks. Okay, you can't buy a share. Why? Because that's not how cronyism works. Rockefeller was at the meeting, and this is what he did with Standard Oil. He made sure that he had a crony setup, so he ruled everything. They did the same thing with your Federal Reserve. You have 12 different individual private banking regions under the Federal Reserve, and they're all private. Okay? Private. They all have shares, and they're the only ones who can buy. Well, no. The low American banks can buy Federal Reserve shares. But those share the individual 12 banks, they actually can sit on the boards that 3 different departments from within the Federal Reserve. Okay, completely private. Don't make me go to the document. Okay, I'll go to the document. All right, let's be clear. Now, the one key point that you need to know is J.P. Morgan had one requirement. One requirement. And I forgot what that requirement. I was busy. I was doing a whole bunch. I'm gonna pull up the requirement. Hang on. He had one requirement, and it's important. And I'm gonna tell you what it is in just a minute. I don't know why this is so funny to me. It's funny because there's just so much you can't remember all this stuff, and I forget. And it's just like we live in monkey world, and you after a while, all of the lies just become like a meta thing for you. And when it becomes meta, you just remember the key points. The key points is don't trust the American government. There's no such thing as the American government. People have leverage over it. All right, hang on, let's do this. I was actually listening to a professor. There was a good link. I have two good links on the Federal Reserve. I'm gonna post for anybody who doesn't have the time to read the Federal Reserve Act, but you have to know how to respond to people. Is this it? Yes, this is it right here. Let me show you. Let me show you bits and pieces and clips and chunks of it. These people right here, these are the top shareholders of the Federal Reserve. Y'all see that? Look who's at the top. Y'all see that they go Citizen Deb, she at the top, she owns some shares. Susan at the top, she owns some shares. These are the top 8 owners of your Federal Reserve. Miss Tree, she at the top, Megs. You see, they're all banks, all right? Those are the owners. These people own you. The funny thing, after I was doing my research, reading it, listening to a couple theories and a lecture, is I had to listen to George Carlin. It's just, he explained to everybody. Let's go, all right, so what did JP Morgan require? Oh, look at that. See, why did they show Jeckyll Island way back then look all ugly and dry and it's in black and white? It doesn't look appealing and nothing. Jeckyll Island is beautiful. It's beautiful. They bought the world with that. Let me show you. Where's JP Morgan? Somewhere back here. I think it was this one where they showed what he required. He had a requirement. Let's do this. That's Rockefeller, because he was there. All right, king of cronyism. And while I look for this, let me ask you a question. It's gonna make some people upset. But that's okay. Sometimes you gotta get upset. Sometimes you gotta show your emotions. In a forced labor, because I got questions. I don't have a lot of answers. I have some answers, not a whole bunch, but I think I have simple answers. I got questions. In a forced labor society, the Department of Education is not a child labor company because what? It's not a child labor department because, huh? The Department of Education is a child labor establishment. Child labor. Forced child labor. I would need to know why the Department of Education isn't. Outside of the fact that it's not constitutional, you don't actually get to actually have a Department of Education. You got a constitution. But why is it not a forced labor organization? It is. It's a child labor organization. 100%. 100%. All right, let's go over here. Is this JP? Is that the king?
To pass. The newly created Federal Reserve wouldn't be until 1913 that legislation would actually come to pass. The newly created Federal Reserve was truly a miracle of compromise.
Oh, this is it right here.
Years with a 14-year term. But the really unique part of the Fed's structure, and you can thank John Morgan for that, is the fact that each regional bank is actually structured as a private corporation that has its own stock.
Why would he require that? That's what was important. That was important. Why would he require that each individual bank have its own stock? The 12 different departments, the 12 different banks, the regional printers that make up the... Why would they have to have their own stock? What could JP Morgan be up to? Why? Didn't we just showed you the thing at the top? Because he owns most of the stock. That's why. Why? Because if you, and so to kind of explain this, to make it simple, the 3 departments in the Federal Reserve, I'm going to take you back to the screenshot. The owners, they own you. You do not have a government. You don't have legislators. You have owners. If you give me the ability to print a nation's currency, I care not who writes its laws. Why? Because money rules the world. Here, the 12 different breakups of the 12 different regions of the Federal Reserve that you can buy stock in. And the number 1 owner of the stock, well, you saw it, I showed it a minute ago, is JP Morgan. Why? To ensure leverage over the federal government. That's why. That's why. Who owns a company? This is the whole point about having one private bank printing all of the money for your entire nation. And it's not money, by the way. It's notes. They're IOUs. Is what your kids owe them, okay? The more you make, the more they owe. The more you spend, the more they owe. Leverage, right? Who runs a company? The board of directors can all be fired. The CEO can be fired by the shareholders. If you own most of the shares, you can collapse a company anytime you want by selling those shares. If you own the majority of the shares in America through the Federal Reserve, you can collapse their currency any day you want. Okay, these are key points. Key points. Use your critical thought now. Use your critical thought. The corporation listens to those who own most of the shares. Why? Otherwise, they fail. They like their jobs. Your politicians like their jobs. They like the idea of retiring. Okay? So if JP Morgan owns most of the shares, and you've got a few families that own most of the banks that own the shares, because all the shareholders, the report is 150 pages long, all the banks that own shares. If you own all of them, you can tell the American government what to do anytime you like. And if they don't do it, you collapse them. We went through this before. It's like getting a loan. When you go to get a loan, you sit down, you put together your business plan and say, I like a loan. And this is how I'm gonna pay it back. And how do you pay it back? This is my employment. This is my job. This is how I make money. And I'm gonna pay your loan back. How does the American government do that? Well, they go to the Koch brothers. And they say, hey, wait, man, we need some money. So I can't give you no money. I'm not gonna buy none of your shares because I got a problem. What's your problem, Koch brothers? What y'all got? What's going on? Somebody messing with you? Somebody playing with your feet? What's going on? Well, see, I built these refineries, and the only place that the oil comes out of the ground that works in my refineries is Venezuela. And Venezuela gave all the oil to the people. Okay, well, Koch brothers, we got a solution for that. I mean, the only thing we really got is the military, and every problem that occurs in the world, no matter what it is, it's gotta look like, the only thing we got is a hammer. So every problem's gotta look like it's a nail, so we can nail the hell out of it. All right, this is what we'll do, We'll make it look like Venezuela's got some ISIS or some ISIL. We'll create some Al-Qaeda and just spread it all over the country. We'll say that they got some drug dealers and cartels. We'll say that they're hurting the people. I don't know, the spraying kids are doing something, and we will get you your oil. Please don't sell our stock. All right. This is how the world works. The world does not work the way you want it to. The world works the way it does. Money and power decide everything. If you have leverage over the country with the largest military, what world do you live in where the most powerful people wouldn't abuse that? Okay. That's why JP Morgan required that, because it gives all the billionaires leverage over your nation. They can collapse the currency anytime they want, and the federal government will not let them do that. Why? Because they want to retire, and they don't want the country to fall into chaos. They don't want the bread to go to $12 a loaf. So they will do anything. The trillionaires and billionaires, tell them what to do. This is what broke your nation. You don't have one. Don't make me go to George Carlin. Okay, I'm done with that. I'm done. So I was reading it. I just wanted to make sure I went through the specifics. The Federal Reserve is a private-owned organization. It's got 12 different regions, and they all have stock. They're all private corporations, okay? And the money is controlled chronally by a few people who own all the banks and the big corporations to buy the stock. That's why you can't buy stock, only banks can. They own you. They tell your government exactly what the hell to do. You can pick any puppet you want. Any puppet. This is why I don't watch the impeachment. I could care less about the impeachment. I need to know if Bajorn impeached Ivar last night. That's all I give a damn about. I don't care. That's going to affect my life more than impeaching a U.S. president. It has absolutely nothing to do with anything on this planet who the U.S. president is. They don't care. The billionaires don't even watch your elections. They could care less. Whoever is there, they just tell them, you're going to do what we tell you to do, or we're going to collapse your country. That simple. Leverage. Leverage makes the world go round. Money and power does, and they lied to you in civics class, all right? Because they didn't tell you. And here's the sad part. The sad part, most people have no idea how the Federal Reserve works. Most people have no damn idea. Because they won't read. It's fundamental. It's fundamental. And they got lies. Politicians got too much to do. They ain't got time to read this stuff. Economists, they don't have time to read this stuff. I got time. But that's why I don't believe in the system. All right, I'm done with that. That's why I'm wearing black today. Whoever controls your purse controls your nation. If they need the oil in Iraq, if they need something out of North Korea, if they need the lithium in Bolivia, if they need land in Palestine, they're gonna get it. Because there is no Democrat, nor Republican, nor government that's gonna stand up to the most powerful people on this planet that can ruin life for any nation or anybody. and they kill presidents. That's why Jeckyll Island is so important. The other reason I had to go do this is because I went out to Wikipedia. That's what it's called. It's called Wikipedia. I went out there because it listed as conspiracy. They said, oh, well, it's a tinfoil hat conspiracy thing. The Federal Reserve, creature from Jeckyll Island. Griffin wrote the book. He's kind of a conspiracy theorist that men with tall hats run the world. I'm just like, men with tall hats, they've always run. They never stop. Go back to the Egyptians. The Egyptians had the massive hats, assuming that they didn't actually mix the birds with the monkeys and the alligator heads and stuff. They had big hats too. Men with big hats always ran this way. They always ran the play. They never stopped. Every time you run things, you got to get a big hat. Look at the king and the crowns. They've always done that. So they run the world. That's why we have the stances we do. It's not conspiracy. It's just fact and law and how the world works. So what do we do? There, I always ask that question. I don't know. Listen. Do I look like I'm smart as he is? Do I look like that? Do I look at his face? Look in his eyes. That man. Do you think that he made an easy way out for you? Do you think that when you let's say when you make a mouse trap, trying to trap a mouse in the house, do you, I don't know, like the sticky mouse traps? You know, they had the sticky glue ones. I don't use those. Don't ever use that. I live in an old country house. Mice like to come in. Don't use the old sticky traps. Because you're torturing them. And the mice are cute, y'all. They're cute. They're cute as, I don't know, but they cute. They get in there and the feet get stuck in the glue and they slowly die to death. Well, I had one, man, I might go to prison for this, but I had one in his nostril. No, I'm not, because they sell the traps in the grocery store. And his nostrils got caught in the glue and he suffocated. Man, that's horrible. That's a horrible thing. Don't do that. But if you have one of those traps, you're JP Morgan, you're trying to trap a bunch of mice, let's call them Americans. Do you like put some grease on the side way in the trap so that if it gets, one paw gets in the glue, he can get on the grease and get out, or she can't? No, you don't make a way out. There's no easy way out. So the discussion I was having with his a sister from MMT, and I told you, I have no issue with any solutions. As long as it ain't today, anything is better than today. Everything is better than today. However, MMT is not a solution. It's not a solution because they missed the key factors. And I thought maybe they were saying something new. We dealt with this a year ago, 2 years ago. And I watched all the videos everybody sent me. Once again, I'm not a video person. I like videos because they're neat and interesting while I'm in the car. But when I get home, I read the law. I need to know, because people lie in videos. You can call them live-ios. They lie in these things. They're trying to get likes. They're not trying to help you or save the world. They just need likes so the video goes viral. The key point in the video I was watching, I'm gonna show it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna show it. And then we'll move on. I just need to dispel these myths. I need to dispel the myths because we need real solutions. This is not a game, y'all. This is not a drill. We are not playing with the planet. This is not a drill. We're not playing. We're not playing tiddlywinks. You can't decide you like something and ignore the information, the facts, because you like it. That's not somebody trying to solve a problem. That's someone trying to say, this has to be the solution. That's what Democrats and Republicans do. The answer always has to be them, so they avoid data to actually come to a real solution. That's not problem solving. That's just everything can be the problem, but anything that affects us. All right. So let me go down this MMP video. If I can find it. If not, I'm gonna move on. The whole point, they tried to say, I'm not saying it. I'm not gonna go back down the trail. I'm not gonna go back down the trail because that comment section is going. But you know what? They delete videos too, so I don't see it. But the whole point of it, it said that we issue our own currency. And so it's based in a lie. I don't think this brother's it. Is this it?
Right.
Maybe no, that's not it. Maybe I'll go down the thread. I'm trying to show the reason why MT is not the answer. But the whole solution is based in the whole point is it's based in we print our own currency. So we can print enough money and give it to everybody. And all we're doing is moving numbers around in bank accounts, and that's it. That would make sense if the Federal Reserve were a federal department. It is not a department. It is privately owned. You can collapse the Federal Reserve anytime you want. You can end the Fed anytime you want. But when you end the Fed, you still owe the shareholders not only their dividends, but their ownership in the company. And you got to pay them back. We own these loans. That $21 trillion that disappeared from the Pentagon that they still haven't found, that pocket lint, your kids have to pay that back. All right, we can end the Federal Reserve, but you just can't take it over and say, oh, it's a federal department. We're just going to take it over and print enough money for everybody. I love that idea, but it doesn't work. It's a privately owned corporation. You can't just do that. Now you create your own Federal Reserve, and Congress can do what they're supposed to, which is coin the money. But the bankers, what are they going to do? Oh, you still owe us the money. So what we're going to do is we are going to collapse your currency. But not only that, but those bankers are linked up with bankers all over the world. This is the problem with having these trillionaires and billionaires. So it means that there are other nations where they actually control all the corporations and the government and the currency, and the valuation will devalue the US currency. And when that happens, when your currency's not worth anything, you can't buy anything from them because your country's, you would literally make America the poorest nation in the world overnight. So I don't know that there are any easy ways out. We have to say the things that are truthful so we can find a real way out. Part of it to me though is just you need to grow some seeds. So I tell everybody, plant plants, need to grow some seeds. Need to grow some seeds, needs to grow some seeds, read the laws. Read the laws. All right, anyway, we gotta do real solution. Let me go do some comments, we'll take a look at the news. Those cartoon birds, Heckyln and Jeckyll. Where are they cartoon birds, Lori? That's not where the name came from. And they come from the Jeckyll and Hyde. I forgot about Jeckyll and Hyde. What was the whole thing about Jeckyll and Hyde? I think that might be where Jeckyll Island came from, but I don't know. The feminine is simple and overlooked, but gives substance to the world. You can't see the stars without the blackness of space. Alan Watts. Susan, is Alan trying to say women are black? What's women are space? What's he trying to say? The men are stars and they shine, and the masculine and the masculine is that wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me. But I get where he's going. I like that. Right. And in fact, you know what? I posted something a minute ago about the whole bonobo thing, right? The bonobos were the only sentient creature on this planet that created a free society, not your Democrats and your Republicans. They're the only ones that create that thing. Dang it. I'll show you. Dang thing's still saying 404 not found. It's found, dude. It's found. Mark, it's right there. You can see the video. It's right there. They don't want to show it though. All right. I think I just posted about that. But I forgot what I said. There we go. To be free as bonobos, the only mostly peaceful species on the planet, which is matriarchal run, which is why I'm saying this, right? Where they have matriarchal influences. Right? They don't actually have a government. I say you got to have their laws and their government and their abundance. They don't actually have a government. They just got women that get together and say, y'all can't have nothing unless you act right. That's all they do. The women, they all get together. They literally say that. Bonobos say that, Susan. They do. They get together and say, you know what? Y'all can't have nothing unless y'all act right. And guess what happens? The men act right. They do. That's just like letting it have influence. And so that's not a government and that's not a law. That's saying you can't have none. That's all. Women, that's all you got to do. Just tell them. And they kind of do that anyway. Like, y'all can't have none unless you get a house. You can't have none unless you drive a car. You can't have none unless you have and this is what drives our society. We can't have none. But if we have the abundance that the bonobos have, we have the governing sort of system that they have, then we can be driven forward in a universally good way. And we'll find peace and we'll find abundance. But we have to be as smart as the bonobos. You have to find a politician that's as smart as a bonobo that swings from trees, eats bananas, and smells each other's anuses. You got to find one politician that's that smart, that understands in abundance, we become wonderful, peaceful creatures. No bonobo, if you haven't heard the story, no bonobo in the wild or captivity has ever killed another bonobo. Why? Because they're peaceful. Everyone who lives there has input. They don't have a government and laws. They're just sentient. So I like that. I like what Alan Watts said. Absolutely spot on. I shared this speech on Facebook, but I guess they hit it. Oh, okay. You shared the thing. Well, Susan, yeah. Well, I don't know. They don't like me. They ain't interested in me. I'm bad for their advertising. Sis and Deb listening on the car radio. The truth remains. Yes, it does. Last night's news was a joke. Oh, you watched the news last night, Susan? A hot mic caught leaders making fun of Trump. Oh, and Macron. Really? What'd he say? Said NATO needs to figure out who our enemy is, because we need one to keep this chaos profit machine going. They said that on a hot mic. You mean America's not the good guy? You mean NATO's not peachy keen, love, ducky furry? It's not a fun little, it's like a murderous cartel that blows up nations and steals resources. I love it. That's fantastic. That's why I love today, Susan. I love today. I'm glad I'm not a kid today, but I love today. Hot mics. Everything's recorded, microphones on everything. I'm just glad they weren't when I was a kid, because when I was a kid, that really sucked. That would really suck. The things that I did, I don't ever want coming back. I'm glad they're gone, but I'm glad the politicians are getting caught saying truthful things. A lot of politicians actually know what's going on. Not many of them, but a lot of them at the top do. But everything's really largely decompartmentalized, but they don't read the laws, and that's why I can't vote for them. That's one reason today I ain't voting for them. Because I read the laws, they don't. I should vote on laws more than they should. That's why I believe in a direct democracy. I think that's one way. That's one way out. All right. AKA the District of Columbia. Yes, that is where the Federal Reserve is based. That's where the holding company is listed as a private corporation in District of Columbia. Let me see. I better turn my volume down before my kids hear you. Coco Loco, I see what you post. You don't need to turn your volume down. You don't need to do that, girl. You don't, you don't need to do that, Courtney. You're not at all. You can leave your volume right. I'm not saying nothing that's worse than what you posted. Between you, Daniel, and Beaufont, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I have no idea. Y'all chase people away. It's good, though. You chase people where you're supposed to. Y'all some real hippies. I don't even know how y'all... Yeah, who else in? Crystal in that group, too. Out there showing your booty holes to the sun. The sun doesn't want to see your booty hole. The sun didn't see you. But the sun made your booty hole. I didn't know that thing was a thing. It is a thing. They're getting out there, sprayed eagle, showing the sun the booty. The sun don't want to see that. I'm sure everybody's booty hole is pretty. No, it's not. No, I ain't gonna start lying. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Nobody's booty hole. I'm not going down that road. It's nasty. Nobody's booty hole is pretty. No, they're all nasty. They all look like that. And the sun doesn't want to see that. All the cells and atoms that are in people's booty holes came from the sun. Everything on the planet then came from the sun. The sun does not want to see that. So I'm not gonna say anything worse than that. You keep the volume right where it's at. I'm gonna go look at the news in a minute. They don't even know what's in the bill they passed. No, Lori, they don't, which is why it's an act. It's a show. It's all a show. It's all entertainment. All they do is sit there and get retirement for getting people to vote for them. It's all an act. It's all a show. It's not conspiracy, it's observation. Yes, Lori, it's just observation and reading. It's fundamental. Read the law. That's why I try to tell people, read the law. Read the law. And she was getting on. She said, no, watch the video. No, read the law. Watch the video. Read the law. Just read the law. All right, the politicians aren't. The corporations and these 100 families write the laws. They write the laws, and they swear to buy shares, or they threaten to sell their shares in the Federal Reserve, which affects your currency's value, which affects them being reelected in their retirement in this country not turning into the Walking Dead. And if the politicians don't pass the laws that they wrote, that they handed to corporations, like universal health care, the war on drugs, all of them, then they collapse the currency. So the politicians just put it in front of you, and they make up a case to get you to go for it, to think it's a good idea. They know you're not going to read it. The politicians, the only thing they control is the name. They tell you it's nice, wonderful, beautiful things. One of the first laws I read was called VAWA. VAWA. Who the hell would pass a law called VAWA? Guess what? Joe Biden did it. Creepy Joe. Creepy Joe. Guess what? He stood up for women, y'all. The name of the law is the Violence Against Women's Act. Which is funny in time, like all truth is revealed. and you can see how creepy Joey is. He can't seem to keep his hands off a little girl. What are the odds that Creepy Joe actually cares enough for women that he would write a law called the Violence Against Women's Act? He didn't write the law. The law was handed to him by the legal industry. Right? It was the first time they passed a law to protect the violence against women. Until I ran into my friend who owned that women's shelter in West Virginia and said it does not protect violence against women. All they basically did is they wrote a law to give women a sheet of paper to protect them from violent men so they don't have to send police out there. And to get that piece of paper, the courts can make money, the lawyers make money, the judges make money. You basically turn domestic violence into a business. They call it VAWA. So all the Americans will vote and cheer. And you know, one of the side effects after that, which I found out from her, was spousal murder went up. They're like, oh, but domestic violence is going down. Number one, you have no idea how much domestic violence happens in this country. I had no idea. I don't like growing up. I don't know. You know why? Because the older you get, women tell you real things. I don't like growing up. And the older I get, the more these women are like, no. Really horrible things happen to us. And most of us don't say anything. So you have no idea how much domestic violence exists, number one. So you can take all those statistics and you can shove them up Courtney's booty hole. Don't do that. That's a violation. You're not supposed to do that. You can shove them up your own. All right. But spousal murder went through the roof. Now that number is captured, right? But they buy the laws, and it all makes sense when you look at the Federal Reserve. They have leverage against the federal government because they don't care about the laws. I always mess it up. Rothschild, who said, "Give me the ability to print a nation's currency, and I care not who writes its laws." And the Rothschild grandmama, now the Rockefeller grandmama, she said, "The only reason wars exist is because my sons want it to." That's the only reason war exists. You can't afford war unless you have a Federal Reserve. You can't. Wars literally got to be fought, and you got to stop because you run out of money. You can't print bullets, you can't make tanks, you can't buy steel. You need endless money to have endless war. Do you think it's a conspiracy that we have all the money we need when it's time to go to war? We got all the tanks, bombs, drones. We have the Moab, mother of all bombs. We got everything that we need to go blow up and murder people and bury kids under buildings. But you need something for education. You need something for health care. You got a little cancer on your foot. You need something. Your roads are falling apart. Your bridges don't make any damn sense. They got potholes bigger than somebody's booty hole. I don't know. I keep seeing the pictures in my head. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. You are on. All right. Don't drive behind me watching no videos in your car. Oh, no, citizen. No, I don't know. No. Let me clarify. I don't watch no. I don't watch no videos in no car. Hell no. You know why, Citizen Dev? Because they got in front of these schools. They take the crash cars. This is what they do. It's a great thing. It's a great thing to do. They take the crash cars from people like texting and driving and messing with their phones while they drive, and they put them at the school. And they put like signs on them. And they say, my son or my daughter was killed by a texting driver. And you see the car, and that graphic goes in you, and you see the broken windshield. You imagine somebody's baby dying because you being stupid, driving, playing with your phone. That stopped me. I'm not gonna lie, Citizen, I used to before that. I drive long ways. I used to listen to stuff, watch stuff, text and everything. I don't do none of that now. I don't do none of it. Because I'm not a psychopath. Not when it comes to anything violent like that. If I actually accidentally kill somebody's kid, my own, or somebody else, I ain't no good. I ain't gonna be no good. I don't know how I would even exist. I can't write laws to go bomb and murder children. And I think this is why politicians maybe don't write the laws. Maybe they don't read the laws. Maybe they're not psychopaths. Maybe they just understand that this is dirty and it's foul and it's how the nation works. And they don't want to read the law. And if they don't read the law, then they don't feel accountable. Maybe they can sleep at night. If they don't see pictures of kids in Yemen being blown up, then they feel better about themselves. I had a good discussion yesterday. Yeah, if anybody's driving, please don't look at the screen. Don't look at the screen. I am a YouTube lecture listener when I drive. I don't watch it, I listen. Why do I listen? Because nobody wants to watch it. Who wants to watch the guy giving a lecture? You went to college, you don't watch them. You don't want to watch them. The content's too dry and they all look kind of like me. Except I don't have my glasses, I took my glasses off. It was somewhere wrong with that. Slips my mind. Slips my mind. All right, let's keep moving. But yeah, don't play with your phone and drive. Don't put on makeup and drive. Leave the radio alone and drive. Just drive the car. We're gonna have self-driving cars soon enough, and that'll probably be a few months before they put laser cannons on the top, so the Rothschilds and Rockefellers can just murder all of us. All right. How come I'm not seeing Pat? I thought I saw Patty. What the hell just happened? Over here, I swear I saw. Am I losing my mind? I thought I saw his comment or her comments over there, and it disappeared over here. I don't know. I'm playing with this stuff. All right, let me do some comments. We'll go. Yeah, but G said stuff about school that if and her kids heard. Oh, they got a good argument to become homeschooled. Oh, and maybe she ain't ready for all that kind of discussion yet, I guess. Oh, get her, citizen dad. Is Courtney faking the fun? Courtney got some shenanigans going on. She trying to, she don't want her kids to find out about homeschooling. That's what it is. See, I couldn't get mine to homeschool. I tried to get mine. I gave it, listen. Hey, son, I said, you can homeschool anytime. I gave the option of both of them. They didn't want to homeschool. I said, listen, they're lying to you. I said, Daddy, I know. Listen, they're lying. Daddy, I know. I don't trust them anyway. Daddy, I don't trust you, so how am I trust them? I gave them the option, but I have a lifestyle that's kind of geared towards that. I could actually homeschool if I wanted to. But Courtney's pulling shenanigans on her kids. That's what's going on. All right, I get that. That's okay. I haven't seen them on Facebook. I'm gonna send them some articles and some kids talk about homeschooling. We have fun. We play with dragons, and we play with the hatchets, and we make fires. And my mommy loves us. Our daddy loves us. That's what I'm gonna do. All right. Let me see. I added to keep the war machine going. I put we need to figure out who our enemy is in quotations to separate what he said and what I added. Okay, I gotta take a look. Thank you, Susan. Is that on your wall? We do, because we don't have an enemy. Our only enemy is in our mirror. That's all I think. Our enemy is in our enemy. We don't have to go nowhere. You don't have to go to Iraq. You don't have to go to Bolivia. You don't have to go to North Korea. You don't have to go anywhere. Your enemy literally is right in your own Christmas window. Right in your own Christmas window. We hang our enemy right from the trees and decorate our houses because we buy all the crap that these big corporations sell and they murder the world for it. And they want to murder. They want more money, and so they buy more of the government. They buy more stock and shares in the Federal Reserve, and they tell the government exactly where it can get off. That's how it works. Dependents don't tell their parents, the people they depend on, what to do. All right? They don't. In that example we just had, Courtney, her kids don't tell her what to do, right? She just lied to them and she hides homeschooling. But they don't tell her what to do. She ain't here to play. She make the money. All right? I got the money. I tell you what to do. If Courtney's kids ever stage a revolution, they would lose, right? If your federal government ever staged a revolution against the Federal Reserve, they would lose. The people who own the purses, that's why it's called allowance. Why does the U.S. federal government, the Democrats and Republicans, get an allowance called quantitative easing? Okay. Allowance. Because we will allow you to do what you want to do if you do what we tell you to do. Allowance. You don't have a government. You have two snotty, bratty kids with snot bubbles that make up lies and entertain everybody, but do exactly what they're told. Clean your room. Did you clean your room? That's the Democrats and Republicans going, oh, we got a new deal. That's what I'm studying right now is a new deal. That's why I don't have a life. We got a new deal. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you're going to get people a new deal? Okay. You go to the Rothschilds and Rockefellers. Well, we have not approved this new deal. What's the new deal? What's in it for us? What are you going to do for us? And if it ain't going to make big corporations money, it's not going to line their pockets. They can talk about new deals all they want. You're not going to... Courtney's kids ain't gonna get together and tell their mama they got a new deal. Doesn't work that way. Say, mama, we got a new deal. We ain't gonna clean our room. We ain't clean the kitchen. We ain't gonna dust. We ain't gonna break the leaves. We ain't doing none of that. You gonna keep paying our allowance, mama. Courtney gonna take her legs down from doing that sun anus bathing thing. What they call it, sun chugging? Something like that. Like, listen, do you know who your mama is? Yeah, I brought you in this world, I take you out. You don't give me no new deals. And that's exactly what these Rothschild and Rockefellers do. You don't give us they probably laugh about it. Did y'all see that picture of the presidents laughing? I'm trying to find that real quick. they make a bunch of memes out of it. All the presidents, they get together and they're all laughing. Presidents laughing. They just laughing at us. They got Bush and everybody. Let me see. Where's that picture? See if I can find it. No, hang on. Let me see. See if I can see. Ooh, it's got to pop up some Corbett. Where's when all the presidents, they all get together and they're laughing. Yeah, Jimmy Carter and Bush and a bunch of them. Y'all make memes out of it all the time. And they're like laughing real hard. That's how the Federal Reserve, the owners of it laugh at us, the stockholders. All right, I can't find it. But they all just laugh at it. Like, oh yeah, you got a new deal, huh? You gonna give our commodities called the U.S. citizens a new deal. That ain't gonna happen. All right, I can't find it. Let's take a look and see what's in the hole. That's the wrong screen. Turn that one off. Let's pop up this one. Let's see. Maybe they'll have some of that impeachment stuff last night. See if people gonna change the world. They're gonna change the world by taking one of the children, one of the dependents, and replacing them with another child dependent. Ooh, SpaceX. First beer on Mars? Ooh, that might be important. The genocide denied to this day. Of course, we deny every genocide. Why? Because when the Federal Reserve buys these things, they have to deny it. Otherwise, people don't keep voting. But let's see. I'm curious. What genocide did they deny?
Is
they
it
like
possible
to use children.
that NATO may be standing in the way of recognition of a forgotten genocide?
Of course.
And what is it? With more on that, here now, RT producer Joe Ricci.
Unfortunately, the genocides have been politicized, and I believe that politics should not get involved in the victims, the survivors and their descendants.
On November 21st, 2019, an event called Unspoken Genocides and Holocaust, 1941 to 1945, was held in the U.S. Congress Gold Room. The presentation, Anatomy of Oblivion, detailed the genocide of Orthodox Serbs in World War II.
We all know Nazis were bad, and we all know what they've done to create a thing that's called Holocaust. It was appalling and disgusting. But during
Nazis were bad. Fourth Reich was bad. Third Reich was bad. But the Fourth Reich is murderous. There ain't nothing the Nazis did that we haven't done. Okay? There ain't nothing that they've done that we haven't done tenfold. Okay? We didn't put people in ovens. They put people in ovens. We fly the ovens over and drop them on children. Okay?
the Second World War, they had allies called Ustasha, led by Ante Pavelic. Now, they were racist in ideology, and they've passed racist laws through their parliament, where Serbs, Jews and Roma population were dehumanized, and they were not considered human beings.
The Nazis left the Ustasha in control of what was called the independent state of Croatia, which now makes up the territory of modern Croatia, Bosnia and Serbia.
12 Ustasha soldiers, led by Franciscan monk Freya Miroslav Filipovic, managed to slaughter 2,332 people in a single day without a single bullet being fired. Every single victim met their murderer face to face on their own doorstep before being manually slaughtered in cold blood.
Among the exhibits were graphic images of death camps, including a specialized one for children, as well as weapons used to commit mass murder. Some of the techniques appalled even German officials.
The Nazi envoy to independent state of Croatia, General Horstenau, found out about it and started applying pressure for the unprovoked slaughter of the villagers to stop. So the abbot of Petricevac monastery was forced to expel Freya Filipovic, not because he did what he did, but because people found out.
If so much of this particular genocide is documented, why does it remain unrecognized by much of the world? Why is this a forgotten genocide? Back in October, the U.S. House of Representatives overwhelmingly passed a resolution recognizing the Armenian genocide. The events of 1914 to 1923 saw the deaths and expulsions of perhaps 1.5 million Armenians from the then Ottoman Empire. Recognition remains disputed, however, especially in Turkey, whose territory, sovereignty, and reputation could be threatened. Yet the Trump administration did not hesitate to recognize the genocide in the midst of a political spat between the U.S. and Turkey over the country's respective role in Syria and Ankara's purchase of advanced Russian anti-missile equipment. But the murder of hundreds of thousands of Jews, Roma, and Orthodox Serbs, so far from being recognized, has never even been on the lips of the Trump administration or its predecessors. So if politics played a role in recognizing the Armenian genocide, how is it preventing recognition of what happened in Yugoslavia? Almost alone of European nations, Serbia has stood with Russia in its opposition to US and NATO policy in Central and Eastern Europe. For that, it paid the price in the late 90s as NATO bombarded military and civilian installations across the country.
The truth is out there. We don't need any sort of recognition, but we do need a respect towards the victims. To all politicians out there, I would simply say respect the victims and their descendants.
Reporting for the news with Rick Sanchez.
They're not going to respect the victims. They can't. They're actors. They act. That's all they do is act. The most charismatic ones win. Why? Because they make the public so in love with them or hate them so much, they can only scream impeachment or Jesus. That's it. And this is why poor people die under rich people's bombs. Rich men rule the world. They always have. The people with the tall hats always rule the world. Because the people are too stupid to put themselves in everybody else's shoe and act like they got some sense. You got a Federal Reserve, you got central bankers, and they tell your politicians what they can and cannot say. Okay? They tell them what they can and cannot fight for. And they do false flags. We saw that through Operation Northwood. I forgot how many there were. You know, they use false flags to get you upset, to get you emotional, to get you upset. They use race, religion, anything they can do to make you stupid so they can continue to pull off these genocides and things that they don't ever talk about. So this is not new. This is old. And a lot of us have known this.
Joseph Ricci, RT.
Thank you, Joe. Neb Malic is a producer here at RT who writes about and researches these matters and is going to give us some insight into this. Okay, so why not just come out and say the Croatian Nazis at one time actually killed up to 1 million, maybe more, Serbs, Jews, Gypsies, etc. Why not? What's so hard about that?
Croatia's a NATO member.
That's it. Nothing else. What, you expected a whole explanation? They're a NATO member. That's it. It's not really murder. Same thing as Democrats and Republicans. In my country, I always feed on them because they're so obviously ignorant, right? It's not rape if it's one of their people. It's not, oh, that got me some truth or drama I'm not gonna get into. You know, it's not genocide if it's their people. It's not child abuse if it's their ally. This is the ignorance of tribalism. This is the problem with like still living in your reptilian monkey brain. That's why I'm always on that 98% monkey thing, because that's what I literally live around 98% monkeys. They have no ethics, morals, or anything if the people are on their team. So that's why they ignore it. And plus, there are consequences for the truth. There are consequences. That's why we're blocked on Facebook and YouTube and all these other places, because there are consequences for the truth. Corporations buy their advertising. If you say the truth about glyphosate, you say the truth about what's in the water, you say the truth about Prozac and all the vaccines and the flu tots. You gotta change the names of them. If you say the truth, there are consequences. And these big corporations, they need to make the money. They bought the laws, forcing it out into the populace, and because it causes cancer for you, that's not really their problem. They bought the law. The politicians have to keep moving forward with it, so the politicians have to enforce the censoring. There are consequences for the truth. That's why the only thing that matters is the truth. The thing about a lie is to have a lie, you need a television set. Like, you gotta keep reinforcing the lie. You gotta keep reinforcing it so people believe it. We're the good guys, we're the good guys, we're the good guys. The Republicans are the bad guys, the bad guys, the bad guys. The Russians are the bad guys, bad guys. America's great, it's great, it's great. It used to be great. You have to keep reinforcing a lie. The truth, it stands on its own. All you gotta do is say it once. Lands on the right brain. If it lands on fertile soil, lands on a brain where there's some critical thought, a little common sense, and some empathy, the truth will root and it'll take off. You don't have to keep reinforcing the truth. You can just lay it out and walk the hell away. That's why censorship is so strong right now. because the truth, it doesn't require support. Once it's there, as long as it lands on fertile soil, somebody who gives a damn with an open mind, it'll do some powerful things.
Seriously?
Seriously. They were admitted to NATO in the 2000s. They were one of the latest batch of members, together with Albania, actually, in the same batch. And in 1995, U.S., with NATO support, actually sponsored a Croatian army operation that ethnically cleansed the remaining Serbs out of the territory.
So that would be, but that would be like saying, Neb, and pardon me for interrupting, I thought you were getting to the end of your thought. That would be like saying, we're not going to say the United States actually enslaved millions of people prior to the Civil War, because after all, the United States is the leader of NATO, so we can't say that. We're supposed to pretend it didn't happen.
That's exactly what NATO's been pretending to do.
And why in this particular case? I mean, is there something about the Croatian power that?
No, it's partially geopolitics of the Balkans, as Joe mentioned in the earlier. It was basically during the after World War II, it became a very tricky political question because Yugoslavia was sort of neutral between the West and the Warsaw Pact. It wasn't a member of the Warsaw Pact. It was technically a communist state, but against Stalin. And so it got sort of pushed under the carpet as, oh, let's not talk about this, it might be politically incorrect. There was the role of the Catholic Church, which was also awkward during the Cold War. And so it kind of got systematically pushed under the carpet. And internally in Yugoslavia itself, it got pushed under the carpet in the name of brotherhood and unity of all of its inhabitants. And so when the 1990s rolled around and Yugoslavia fell apart, all these conflicts came back. But because of the certain advantages certain actors had with propaganda in the West and the East, respectively, the Croats were cast as innocent victims, and the Serbs were recast as the genocidal murderers. And then the U.S. got into the role of backing that, and it couldn't ever admit that it made mistakes.
And there's no question it happened, right?
The genocide, absolutely.
I mean, it's not like they're saying, "Oh, it's not true." They know it happened. We're just not going to.
It happened.
And it's been acclaimed by at least two major organizations.
The Jewish organizations actually are the source of the numbers that the Croatians, mainstream Croatians, are now saying are way too high. The Croatians are saying it was a labor camp, nobody really died of any murders, it was just disease and so on and so forth. The denial is rampant. But no, I mean, there's no doubt that it happened.
What would it, I don't understand, since it happened so long ago, what does NATO fear would happen if they came out and said it happened? There's a simplistic question.
Right. Well,
for
they fear that the entire narrative of the 1990s, which served to redefine NATO after its Cold War mission expired and the alliance was searching for meaning, would be delegitimized by this. Because if NATO is not a virtuous alliance that goes forth and prevents genocides, but rather an alliance that actually admits a member that's denying a genocide, well, then what does that say?
But can't we just say the Balkan War was a bit of a disaster from several sides, and it has nothing to do with the previous incident, which was the genocide? Can't both be true?
Yes, they can, but nobody here wants to admit the mistake.
That's a fascinating story. Thanks so much for bringing it to us, Neb. Is it
Fascinating.
that NATO maybe...
Fascinating. Very true and fascinating. Well, you know, you have to be the good guy. You always have to be the good guy. I think the problem, I think it's public opinion. I think that's why they wouldn't want it being talked about is public opinion. I got you for sure. I'm posting it now. I don't have to wait till the last minute. I can post it right now. That's who we are. It's who we are. We can accept it or we don't have to accept it. NATO still runs, what is it? The not Aleutian Alliance. Well, I keep going to Aleutian Alliance. The Global Alliance. Right? They're censoring Facebook. If they start losing public opinion, then it means wars start to come to an end. It means people stop believing, and they can't have people stop believing. They still got a lot more wars to do. They got a lot more genocides to get behind, and you need public opinion to continue on. What's wrong with my background? What's that? Oh, great. Somebody asked a great question. Key asked the question, well, why are they bringing this up now? How does it benefit them? It always benefits them, Kia. It always does. You know that. It benefits them. We just don't know how. That's why we do this. That's why we do this. We have no idea how. This is the whole purpose of being a hive mind and having these discussions. There's always a control. There's always, it's like yesterday when we did the Joe Rogan, Kevin Hart, watch party. No, Kevin Hart's, I don't know. It's like the Assange thing, controlled opposition. They literally control everything. They control everything. They listen to everything and control everything. So if it's coming out, there's a reason. And we need to find that reason and subvert it, right? With Assange. They say he's CIA now. Okay, fine. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't change the truth. The truth stands on its own. The truth doesn't need a hero. It doesn't need a villain. The truth is just the truth. And WikiLeaks said the truth. So the genocide is the truth. We know that power is bad. We know NATO damn sure ain't no good. We get rid of both. That's how I think we subvert it. I think that we don't worry too much about what the narrative is and where they're trying to go with it. We just accept that, you know what, you can't have power over other people. That's why I try to keep it simple, Kia. I try to keep it simple, just straightforward points. You don't get to have any power over people. Bottom line. You take out a power, see, I don't have to go out and protest rape. I don't have to go out and protest abuse. I don't have to go out and protest bombing kids. I don't have to go out and protest putting kids in prison with the war on drugs for some dried plants. I don't have to do that. I don't have to go out and protest war. I don't have to do that. I just say, no, power shouldn't exist. Because these men who met at Jeckyll Island, they need the power. That's the only reason they dominated the entire world. If you don't have any power over your neighbors, you don't get to control the height of their grass, let alone what you put in their body, then all the problems go away. All the problems are based in you thinking you got the power over somebody else, that you have the right of God to take their life or the land they live on or their resources. Take the power away and the narrative doesn't matter. So yeah, but it's a good question. You know, why is it coming out now? I like to say, Kia, that we're winning. Unfortunately, I wasn't born yesterday. They always have a plan B. I like to say we're winning. I like to say that they weren't ready for the internet, but I'm not really understand on that one. DARPA made the internet. I kind of feel like they always plan B, C, D. I like to say that we've got people on the inside, and we do. I mean, most of the people in the CIA, the FBI, MI7, all these groups, they're us. Our neighbors, our friends, and they're all not psychopathic. In fact, the vast majority are not psychopathic and violent. They just accept a little bit of evil with what they do. They're a little evil with oatmeal. It's like I had a good discussion yesterday with the photojournalist. She didn't really believe that the media is corrupt because she sells pictures to the media. I don't think that's a coincidence, but that's not the point. We all accept a small degree of foul, right, for the good that we do. Every one of our jobs, everything that everybody does, there's a degree of foul that's coming out. Whether you're not taking out the trash, you're not recycling, you're blowing up another nation, you're stealing the resources, you're buying blood diamonds, your company contracts for the military or war machine. There's always a degree of bad we accept, like politicians. They accept a degree, everybody accepts a degree of bad. But I think that also is the greatest thing that we have, is that humans infect all of these systems. And at some point in time, it's just everything is a matter of circumstance. Everybody has empathy. Everybody's got love, and it just takes the right amount before it comes out. And then people do something like an Assange or a Snowden, a Martin Luther King, a JFK. We all do foul. None of us is great. We're all controlled opposition. You don't have to attack Kevin Hart. There are things that he does because of where he is. There are things he says because of where he is. Like me and everybody else. There's certain things you can't attack. An example, my ISP right now, I don't know who my ISP is. I forgot for a minute, but I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to start attacking them. That's stupid. They shut it off. They shut it up. I'll be done right there. I'm not going to, we're all controlled opposition. So I was saying to the photojournalist, I was just like, she was kind of explaining how it works, where, they get grants and grants to go take pictures for a story. And she said, yeah, and the problem usually is just money. There's not enough money to go to certain places and do certain stories. And I said, well, are you sure it's just money? I mean, keep in mind, they print the money. The billionaires who own all of this print the money. They own the Federal Reserve. They own the stock in it, right? They have the money for everything. The mainstream media is their advertising agency for promoting war and genocide and hiding things from the public. So they got the money. I told her, I said, is it possible that they only give grant money for you to go places that allows them to, keep their press pass in Washington? Perhaps. You know, if you apply for a grant to go to Yemen and take pictures of starving children with their bellies popping open, you think they somebody give you money to do that? I don't think so. The money is always there. It's just it's demonetization. That was another post from this morning. Demonetization. I was trying to explain that because Corbett or somebody did a video on demonetization, and I was thinking about it. Because everyone's upset with YouTube demonetizing everyone. I said, well, the problem's not demonetization. No, it wasn't Corbett. It was the beginning of an ancient archaeology video I was watching. Everybody's upset about the demonetization, and it's not a YouTube thing. In photojournalism, media, that's demonetization. It means they don't give money to the things they don't want in public. They silence them. It's a book burn. It's censoring. But it's a passive form. It's not like a nefarious in-your-face one. It's a nefarious quiet one, right? When you live in a society where money exists, all you got to do is remove money from the things that you don't want to be known in public, and it goes away. It just gets drowned out in a static. And so that's what they're doing on YouTube, is they demonetize the things that make life hard for Google, right? For YouTube. Why? Because if you make life hard for their advertisers, the advertisers won't advertise with them. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's just, this is how things work. If you don't want stories about poor kids in trailer parks dying, you know, starving under the trailer because America's spending billions of dollars overseas because they don't actually have a government, then you don't monetize that story. It's just economics. It's not a conspiracy. It's just money and power. And the people in power don't give two damns about you. They don't give a damn about your children. They don't give a damn about anybody's children. They only care about power. So the power's got to go. All right, what else we got? Jesse Ventura, no choice but to impeach Trump. Huh? That don't sound like something Jesse would say. What's going on, Jesse? Jesse's a smart dude. What
Tonight, the impeachment inquiry of President Trump has moved on from the House Intelligence.
We need to impeach the Federal Reserve. We need to impeach the federal government because it's not a government, it's a corporation. We need to bring America back, give it back to the Republic, and all the wars stop. Then Britain can get Britain back, and Italy can get Italy back, and France can get France back, and Canadians can get Canada back. That's what we need to do. But I don't think he's saying that.
Committee to the House Judiciary Committee. On the table today, the question of the U.S. Constitution and whether the way it's written regards the actions of the president as officially an impeachable offense. And joining us now is Governor Jesse Ventura.
Hang on, question, kind of creepy. No, not Jesse, not Jesse. Oh, he's getting up there in age, isn't he, brother? You ain't throwing people from the ropes no more. I like Jesse. Grounds for impeachment are things they're done that are outside of what the office of the president can do constitutionally. Well, if you have a corporation, not a federal government, you've got captives, not a republic, then the Constitution it's not worth the paper it's printed on. That's the weird thing about living in today, because you got the people who talk about the United States as a corporation, right? And we're under Admiralty law and the War Powers Act. But this impeachment thing, if that's true, then impeachment means absolutely nothing. There is no Constitution. The Constitution is a guideline. You can pretend that you're under it, but this federal thing is not actually under it. The federal thing is actually owned. It's a corporation. So there's no reason that they have to. Literally nothing is impeachable. You can impeach somebody if you want to, because it's like in a corporation. You can fire a CEO. You can fire a board of directors, people on the board. You can fire people. But it's not actually impeachment, but it's like these words that make us keep thinking that we're in control. And that's why I'm not interested. It's pointless. He hadn't done anything any other president hasn't done. They all have done it. The problem is the office, not the president.
Governor, it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
I think this is a good conversation for you and I to have. I was fascinated by the discussion that was taking place in Congress today about the impeachment. They had a set of constitutional lawyers, among them Jonathan Turley, who, by the way, is the one holdout. He's the guy who's saying that this is not enough to impeach a president. All the other constitutional lawyers are making the argument that it is enough to impeach a president. Where do you stand on this?
Well, I got one more thing to say. Every president's impeachable. everybody, every congressman, every senator, every Supreme Court person. If you actually take the Constitution and put over what these people do, every last person's impeachable. So that's a challenge. Why are you singling out one person and the whole thing needs to go? How come people who should be impeached get to talk about someone else being impeached? They need to impeach themselves first. Like, you need to solve these problems in your own mirror first and impeach yourself. Because this is what the truth is we're fighting about, actually. I'm gonna say, yeah, we already know that, Danielle, put that out. They're talking about Trump. I think Danielle kind of leans to the Trump side, and Brother Al kind of leans further away. And they kind of got into it over that the 14-year-old, who's a woman now, who said that she had to do things with Trump, and she saw him at multiple parties. And I think everybody took it all out of context. I think it is. I think the problem with activists is everybody's so passionate, everybody actually gives a damn. If you're dealing with faketivists, they don't really care. They're just there for, I don't know, write books or something, stand in the crowd. They, ain't got no school to work today, so they just show up to protest. Faketivists, but activists, like real passionate people, they have a lot of passion and they give a damn. Individually, in our own mirrors, we're all pretty ignorant, but as a group, we're phenomenal. And so it was about, I think Danielle said, well, why is she only going after Trump, right? And that obviously other people have raped her. She was 14 at the time. And she has a point. She actually has a great point. And I think it was taken out of context what she said, because if this little girl was raped, and she disappeared, I think, and I don't know if she came back or something, like she disappeared. Someone said she disappeared from the limelight. I don't know. Usually if you're coming forward with something like that and you got your testimony, you're pushing forward. Maybe they seal some files or something. I don't know. Corrupt judges do all kind of corrupt things. But my interest is if there are grown men out there having sex with a 14-year-old girl or women, they all need to come to justice. All of them. If Trump was one of them, he needs to too. All of them, right? Weird things that don't make sense. So, if she was abused by these men, how come she's only focusing on Trump? And I think that was her point. And that actually makes a lot of sense. If we give a damn about this little girl, we give a damn about all those little girls, then they all need to come to justice. The question is why the Democrats and Republicans protecting them. So they got into it. But here's my point. So I related to the impeachment thing. It's like, no, if wrong is done, if that's the law, then everybody needs to be subject to it. You don't get to pick and choose who's subject to it. And so something's a little funky about this girl who was saying that. And that doesn't mean that I doubt this, that, or the other. It just means I like to look at information, look at evidence, use my critical thought and say, something ain't right. Something ain't right. If I had a 14-year-old girl and she grow up and she's 22, I don't know how old she is now, 34, 55, 50, it doesn't matter. You rape my little girl, well, that's different. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. You ain't gonna make it. Don't worry about Christmas. You ain't gonna make it. I don't play. I got issues, yo. I got issues. We're not going to court. That's why you need to stop. That's why there's not much abuse in my family. The men in my family, we don't play that game. So the idea that it just disappeared doesn't make any sense. So I don't know why Brother Al and Danielle are fighting. It doesn't make any sense, other than the fact that they're both two passionate people who actually give a damn. And they take time out of their private lives to come on here and try to say truthful things and have all their friends attack them like me. And so they both give a damn. Neither one of them is for rape or pedophilia or anything like that. But to the point, people who need to be impeached should not be trying to impeach somebody else. They all should be impeached. Why? Because killing your own citizens, genocide, is the most impeachable offense, and the federal government's done that from the very beginning. People die in their own country right now, and they're sending billions of dollars overseas.
I stand on it very simply. I have to stand in favor of impeachment, and I think there's no choice. Because you take an oath to defend the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. I took that oath, and anyone that violates that oath is violating our Constitution, and in my opinion, the president has done that by seeking aid from an outside source to influence our election. The big key here to me, Rick, is him going outside the country to another country Because if we don't stop this right now, what will the next election? It's going to open the door to where every candidate can go out there and prostitute themselves throughout the world and get all their finances from a foreign entity. Well, you know as well as I do, whoever pays gets the ear, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm confused, but maybe I missed something. When have we had an election that politicians did get money from corporations that made money internationally? When does that ever happen? Did I miss an election? Every single politician takes bribes. The only one I know that didn't take any bribes was Ron Paul. Every other American politician have all taken bribes from corporations, and all of the corporations on the federal level, all the big corporations, they all have international business. You don't get to be big unless you have international business. So they're all getting money that's in some way derived from some international money and partnerships. So it's just, I don't know, it's weird to me, but I agree with that. I think that a man has to be a man, or a woman has to be a woman. And I think if you say you want to go cook the fries at Burger King, then you need to go to Burger King cook them damn fries. You get in there, you don't cook the fries, you burn the fries. You only got so many times burning the fries before you need to get fired. I agree with that. But I also agree with kind of where Danielle was going, which is, well, you got to get all of them. You know, we got to stop playing this partial stuff, because I know what the Democrats are up to. It's the same thing the Republicans are always up to. They're not trying to end the genocide machine. They just want to be the one in the seat running it. They're not trying to end the war on the drugs. They want to be the ones putting the kids in prison. They're not trying to collapse the CIA or the FBI. They just want to be the ones controlling who they get to dictate what nations die, so they can get that money from those corporations that are buying stock from the Federal Reserve. That's all they want. They don't believe the things that they say. They just want to be in power of those things. And it might be because they think that they can do some good with all that evil. But to me, I think when enough evil is too evil, then that's it. When you're bombing children in mass, that's it. So I agree with Jesse. I don't disagree with him. I just think that we need to be consistent across the board. And it's maybe, Jesse's background as a governor, believing in the election, did that to him to take that stance. But I think all presidents should have been impeached. All of Congress should have been impeached. All Senate should be impeached. All Supreme Court. So I listened to people talking about impeaching, presidents and congressmen or whatever. But I'm not going to listen to other congressmen and senators who need to be impeached as well. They took the money. You took the money and people died, and your citizen here died. That's treason. You need to go too. I don't like hypocrites. I don't do hypocrites. All right. Google's dark and disturbing links to the Pentagon. That's not dark and disturbing. That's how oligarchies work. It's not dark and disturbing. That's the world. The world is darkness. Didn't Charlie Murphy? Darkness. Charlie Murphy said that to you. All right. It's evil. If you see bunnies and kittens and happy-go-lucky light days, then you're not paying attention. It's not dark and disturbing that the Google links up with the Pentagon. It's not dark and disturbing that they're a pharmaceutical company now. It's not dark and disturbing that they bought YouTube. It's not dark and disturbing that Disney bought Fox. That's what's supposed to happen in an oligarchy. It's not dark and disturbing. What's dark and disturbing is the fact that every gallon of water that you drink has got climate descends into circus. Well, the NATO summits are always circus. To NATO. Russia, not our enemy. Well, Russia's not anybody's enemy. You don't have any enemies. All your enemies are in your own mirror. Sag Guru and a bunch of other gurus said that. Impeachment inquiry. Expertise versus opinion. On legal panel. Okay, that's great. I've already extended my cue for tolerance for American politics. We already watched a few minutes of that show. I actually don't want to know anything more about it. Trans activist complains gynecologist won't see her. Ooh, not touching that one. We're not gonna touch that one. Nope, not touching. Not my business. Not my business. My plumbing is. I'm sympathetic to people whose plumbing does not fit with whatever. But that's not my business. I don't know. If you got that, then I guess. Well, I don't know. I guess a gynecologist could refuse service. I guess. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's not weird. It's weird to me because I'm ignorant. Okay, it's weird to me because this and this equates what society thinks is normal. So I don't have those issues. But my sympathy is to people who do. Right? If I were born in the wrong body, yeah, I'd have some real issues. My goal is, one of them. is to try to help us evolve to a place where everybody's acceptable. I think I don't want to click. I don't want to go there. I think that. All right. So here, okay. Think about it in a couple ways. Because I can tell you right now, I'm probably already going to disagree with what she says right there. The resident. If I had one of those, and I was having problems with one of those, would I want to go to somebody who doesn't think I should have one of those? Think about it that way. All right. I think about it from a man point of view. I have one of these. And is there a PP doc? I don't think it's a PP doc. Is it a PP doc? What's a PP doc called? If there is such thing as a PP doc, tallyknacker doctor. Somebody correct me if they say tallywhacker. It's not tallyknacker, it's tallywhacker. Listen, Kevin Hart said tallyknacker. I would go with tallyknacker. Tallyknacker doctor. And I go there and the doctor looks at me like, oh, yeah, you got that. I don't know. I'm gonna put a racism. You got that black skin stuff. Yeah, I really don't want to help you, but if you want me to help you, I'll help you. Am I gonna go to a racist doctor to fix my tallyknacker? Think about it. You might want to think about it. Do I want to force people to help me that don't like me? Think about it. Hopefully you don't have to think too long. I can tell you this. If something is something real important to you, I have some parts that are very important to me. I take care of them very well. You got to at least kind of sort of like me. You're gonna go anywhere near them parts. So this is weird. I don't understand why you want to force people. I wouldn't be any good in the civil rights movement. I wouldn't be no good. I wouldn't be no good because I don't believe in giving people my money. I don't believe in forcing my money on them. Like, oh, we need to go do a sit-in so we can buy some pie at the counter, lunch counter. Yeah. I'm glad you were born in that time. I wouldn't be any good in that time. If you don't want my money, you can go to hell. That's just how it works out. I'm not going to force you to take my, I labor. I'm a slave. I slave for this stuff. I'm picking this cotton and I finally get that money and put it in the bank account. You don't like me and I'm going to put money in your bank account for your pie. You can go all the way to hell. So there's no way you playing with my PP. That's not going to happen. I don't know. People are weird today. I don't get it. If your hair dying is giving you, let me finish on that. No, I don't believe in cancel culture. Like I would never do nothing like that. I really don't care. I don't care what people think. I don't care if they like me. I don't care nothing about that. I'm not going to get together and use my energy and time to try to cancel your show, your broadcast, whatever, because I really don't care what you believe. I'm an adult. I'm mature. It's not in my day. I don't have any energy for nonsense like that. If you don't like me, that's fine. I still love you, but you're not gonna get my time. I'm not, because it's a Chinese finger trap. People do stuff like because they want your time and your energy. It's like hate. The hater already won if you gave him your attention. The troll already won if you fed it. Why does the troll show up? To be fed. The minute you feed them, they're good to go. Now, if this doctor's turning away transgender people, what do you think is going to happen when he gets to all that press, or she? They're going to get a lot more patients than people who don't like trans. I don't even give them your time. Don't give me. If you give haters attention, they already won. You're not going to win that battle. So yeah, I don't give hate. I don't care if people like me. I don't care. We have to try to grow up, people. Is your hair dye giving you cancer? Of course it is. We're in an oligarchical country. Lawsuit details new depth on Epstein's depravity. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm not sure that's news. I don't know what that is. You can click on the passage if y'all want to. Russian prodigy discusses musical greatness. That sounds beautiful. Congress subpoenaed journalists' phone records. Congress needs to subpoena Congress's records. Okay, I'm not interested in Congress subpoenaing and I'm not interested in Congress's subpoenas. Neither of them. None of that. Congress needs to subpoena their own damn self. Congress is a corrupt corporation. They need to go away. We need a real Congress to come back that actually stands up for the Republic and the people. I'm not interested in what treasonous people have to say about somebody else's treason. Or I'm not interested in what criminals have to say about somebody else's crimes. That's just dumb and stupid. Disabled basketball player inspires future players. Yes, that's wonderful. Wonderful. Why did Trump send private lawyer Hog. Jesse Ventura's asking. Well, because Trump is corrupt like all billionaires are, and he's going to do what he's supposed to do. Same reason Obama sent them, I guess. It's the same damn thing. You can't have a world where there are powerful people. Winners and losers of U.S.-China trade war. Don't care. The loser already know. The loser's already us. The loser is always poor people in every country. Billionaires should not have global trade because billionaires shouldn't have local trade. That's just stupid. Do I think countries shouldn't trade? No, I don't think that. I think that if you keep people trading with their neighbors, nobody gets to be billionaires, then no one buys anyone's country. You don't have any super powerful people over anybody else, and then good things happen. NASA shoots mice into space for muscle retention study. JFK lovers. Oh, JFK's lover, the political assassination. Right, that's Mary, what's her name? Okay, Mary Meyer. Yep, we already went through that. So I guess we get hit everything. Ooh, new way to kill people. That's mine.
If you manage a team, you have to try Monday.com. Monday.com is a platform to track everything your team.
I literally don't.
All right, the Pentagon is just a short couple of years away from producing a 300 kilowatt laser that'll be able to take down enemy cruise missiles and other weaponry, replacing, the decades-old traditional method, which is basically meeting missile with missile. That is, of course, if a cruise missile could be detected in the first place, since they fly low and slow and aren't easy to detect. So for more on the technology being developed in the 21st century warfare, investigative journalist Ben Swan is joining us.
Before we get on with Benny, ask y'all a question. Do you think that wars are still being fought, or could be? Say it the right way. We've been driving these cars based on fossil fuels for 100 years. Do you actually think that missile technology that's based on fossil fuels is how wars are going to be fought? How the next war, not the fake wars, not the fake wars where they go and fight like somebody who's real poor that's got some donkeys and clay houses and put some rubber band weapons, rubber bands with the paper watts. Put those on horses. No, like when you actually go fight a real military, you go fight the Russians or the Chinese. Do you actually think that they have technology that's 100 years old, missile technology? It's the best that they got. 100 years ain't changed. When did the Germans make that? 1940s? V2 rockets? So not 100 years, 70 years. You think that's the best that they got? See, I don't think so. I'm already watching this and I'm like, yeah, I ain't listen. Nah. Tell them. Don't tell me. Don't try to scare me and say that you need some laser weapons because you need to fight some missiles. You make us drive fossil fuel cars. You do not use fossil fuel in modern weaponry.
In studio. So Ben, first it was Space Force.
That's right.
Everyone laughed. Now we are learning of these lasers that'll be used from the ground.
That's right.
Tell us about these developments.
Yeah, so essentially what this is high-powered lasers that use fiber optic cables and big groupings of those cables that centralize and focus a laser beam in order to be able to, as you said, knock down, ultimately, a cruise missile. That's the goal of it. By the way, I should say, it has not worked so far. There's absolutely,
okay.
It's all theoretical, right? Nothing's actually taken place that's been proven that it could work. But part of the reason for that is because of the intensity of the laser. You mentioned that we're a few years away from having a 300 kilowatt laser that could do this. But there's also testing being done on 500 kilowatt and then beyond that, even a megawatt laser, which would be able to do this. So we don't know exactly what it will take to be able to knock this down. There are 3 companies competing with each other to bid on it to figure out whether or not this will even work.
Yeah.
But that's where we're headed.
I mean, they say they'll have or the DoD at least says that this should be done and developed by 2022. I mean, we're basically in 2020 right now. So who are these big players? Are they?
Okay, I can't watch anymore. I'm sorry. I can't watch anymore. I used to go to air shows at Andrews Air Force Base, and I saw the laser that was mounted on the 141, and I saw the video of it shooting down missiles way back in the 80s. Stop it. I'm not interested. I don't like fake news. I don't like foods. That's just, come on, stop it. Y'all been doing this stuff all along. There are 3 companies competing to make this new weapon that we don't have, and we have no idea if it's going to work, and we're going to try to use some fiber optics and lights and 300 megawatts. And I'm like, come on, really? I'm not in your world. That's why I can't. Who's that? Susie's laughing. That's why I can't talk to most people, Susie. I can't. Because I'm just like, y'all still believe this? Like, really? We're gonna go get the Iranians with some Greek fire? Really? Come on, man, stop. That's not how power works. That's how it works in your world. Doesn't work in my world. That's why I love RT, but they are still a Russian-based company, a Russian news media, and they're gonna keep the whole Game of Thrones narrative, right? Everybody on the throne in the Game of Thrones agrees with being on the throne, and you believing in the Matrix, you believing in the false world that this is the limits of what they have. That's just BS, all right? Reagan was working on Star Wars a long time ago. Stop it. They want to use the lasers against them people just the way the American government wants to use it against them people, all right? Because it's not their people, it's their slaves, all right? I'm going to do comments and I'm going to get out of here. I don't see anything else that was interesting. Oh, Ivana's done with Jesse. I'm not done with Jesse. Don't be mad at Jesse. He kind of disappointed me there too. But I let Jesse be Jesse. I let Ivana be Ivana. I let Kevin be Kevin. I let Patricia be Patricia. Everybody, we're all indoctrinated and ignorant in our own ways, right? Jesse worked in government, so I think to some degree he's got to speak that way and believes in government. And I think a lot of his following is based in belief in government. And I think he says what he probably has to say, probably what he believes. It's together that we can arrive at some consistent truth, right? With multiple minds coming together. That's why I like live streaming, because I can say something. If it's wrong, my friends are like, you lying, you're wrong. Like, you're ignorant. They say it in nice ways. You're ignorant. No, here's the truth. And it keeps everybody level. But when you have big names like Jesse, big names like Trump, big names like Obama, big names, they don't live stream for a reason. Because y'all might show up. That's why they don't live stream. And so you don't get like a full, well-rounded picture. You get a flat earth picture. You get a flat, this is what I think, this is what the other debater on the news thinks, and that kind of sets the narrative. That's why I don't like big names. I don't think anybody should have any power, not just from a government or bank perspective, but like entertainment. You give entertainers too much power, then people start worshiping and believing them, and you don't have a mutual conversation of multiple people. You got one person, and then it's not true. All right, some comments. I'm getting out of here. Jesse speaks truth often, but he's also in the game. Thank you, Lori. Lori just said it. Thank you. That's it. I don't even have to say it. That's why I don't know why I do this anymore. I should stop. I should just go be normal. Go live my life, be normal. Because I don't have to say it like y'all already know. It's just Jesse. Jesse gonna be Jesse. That's just what it is. Lori gonna be Lori. Holy crap. Jesse turned to Bernie Sanders overnight. Aging sucks. Well, yeah, it does suck too, Patricia. Doesn't do that. You start to get old, start thinking about retirement. Like, dang, how much money I put away. And I thought they chased Jesse out the country. Didn't y'all chase Jesse out the country for 1 minute? He had to go live in like Jonestown or something. He went to go live in somewhere. And then he finally came back. He went to go live off grid or something for somewhere. Some point in time, then he finally came back. All right. Let me see. That Jane Doe who never gave her real name and turned into a ghost when everybody was gathered for the big press conference. She's fiction, obviously. Well, that's my fear, Patricia. That's my fear is that I think Patricia left. I think that's my fear. And it doesn't smell right. Doesn't smell right. I'm not saying she's a fake and a phony. I'm just like, it's like you gotta sniff your coffee. People like to pee in your coffee. They like, you gotta sniff your coffee because you'll never know where Daniel, Beaufont, Crystal, Courtney shows up and they're doing some anal sun gulping, whatever it's called. Yeah, make sure ain't nothing in there. Smell the coffee, and I'm just I have to stay. I can't make a decision on it because if you say you were raped at 14, I gotta lend my ears, right? Like I need to know what's going on. To me, it just seems weird that you disappeared. Like your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your friends, your family, everybody around you should be like, hell no, you're gonna take this. You taking it all away. So I don't know. So I don't know what's going on. But people say that she disappeared. So something doesn't smell right. I'm gonna say that, and that is truthful. Something doesn't smell right. If I were a young person, they did that to me, I might not like Trump. but everybody got to go down. I'd have to pull a Nino Brown. Listen, I'm taking everybody down. I would use the fact that he is the president as a platform, but I would say everybody's going down. I'd list everybody. I'd be like this person and that person and this person, these people, these three, that. This one's only a teacher. I don't get two damns. They going down too. I'd list everybody. So something don't smell right about it. All right. I'm queuing something up so I can exit on something powerful. Let's see. We all find the truth in our own, in our truth, in our own way, in our own time. To argue with someone else because you believe your path is right and someone else's is wrong defeats the purpose of seeking peace. It does, Susan, and it creates war and conflict. And it creates that finger trap. That's why I don't fight with people. You just give your information and walk away. And respect them and love enough, let them make their own decision and accept that everybody's going to speak from their experiences. You know, in Hollywood, a lot of people in Hollywood doing good, a lot of people in Hollywood not doing good. There are some people in government doing good too, but everyone's going to speak from their existence. And this is the problem with having powerful people and like this entertainment stuff, is that you see them on TV and they seem more powerful to you, and they're not. They pee just like you do. They butthole sunshine. They just like you do. They, you know, they got dogs that pee on the carpet like you do. Like they got C's in math like you did. They're just like you. You're not powerful. It's like Dave Chappelle. He was the one who said, stop trusting, stop worshiping
epic
stars.
New doc.
Stop worshiping movie stars. Stop worshiping politicians. Stop worshiping these people. They're just people. Can't touch this. Na, 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 na. Patricia singing. All right, how's it possible to be born in the wrong body? Oh, that's deep. That's deep. Okay, so Kia, what are you talking about, the whole transgender thing? It's all a spectrum. Like DNA wise, it's all a spectrum. What you think, who you are, what you want, how you are. And based on epigenetics, those genes get flipped based on the environment. Right? What's going on at the time, what chemicals you ate, what water you drank in America. Everybody's drinking Viagra and Ritalin and Prozac and flavored water with some chlorine and fluoride as a topping. Could that flip DNA and cause some crazy things to happen? Yeah, sure it could. It could cause all kind of crazy things to happen, where you could, be in the body of a man, but you're attracted to him, be in the body of a woman, attracted to him. But also, if you go back to Roman times, you've had people like that since the beginning of time. Right? You've had people who, you have reptiles that are like that. You have people who are born a certain way and then they flip. Right? There are people who are born and they like this and then they change, they like that. Sometimes you're born at birth, your vanilla tastes better, and your DNA and genes flip, and later in life you like chocolate. To me, that's normal. You have babies, children are being born with both organs. Right? So you have children, oh Lord have mercy. I clicked on something, who's that kid? I clicked on something. And I saw something the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a thing now. It's a big time thing. Because apparently, I guess you have parents that aren't making that decision for their babies. And so you've got a lot of grown people that got the JJs and the Pepes, both of them. And it's good for all of us to know that. And I was about to say, see that. I was saying, know that. So if you have a baby that can be born with both physical genitals, could you have a person being born that is attracted to both, or one, or all? I don't know. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think it's just things we don't understand. So I don't, I just, to me, it's all a spectrum. I think gender is a spectrum and preferences is a spectrum. All of that stuff is spectrums. We like to categorize things because it's easier for monkeys. Monkeys, we like categories. 98% categories. That's a banana or an ant. We like things to keep simple. That's black or that's white. And I think that most things in life are always gray. That's American, that's Russia, that's China. No, it's the Federal Reserve. This is Jeckyll Island. That's how it goes. It's how it goes. I don't think there's any definitives. I think we like to categorize people, places, and things because we're monkeys and it's easier. It's more complex to think of things in terms of spectrum, but I think that they are. Well, the documentary I saw said in England that they don't make a secret of it. Raise them as neutral and let them decide for themselves as they grow up. no maiming surgery based on the parents' wishes. I agree with that too, Patricia. Just leave people alone. Leave them alone. I think little boys, when they're born, I think you put them on the floor, you put out some balls, put out some dolls. Don't put out no guns and tanks, and we don't need none of that no more. Put out some cars, and whatever they go play with, let them go play with. You know, little boy like dolls, great. That's what I would do. If I could start all over again, my church people I grew up with, they're not gonna like it. But I'm gonna tell you honestly and truthfully, I love my kids too much. I don't give two damns what society thinks. I could care less. I could care less what anybody thinks. I care less what a book thinks. I care less what the people who wrote the book think. I love my kids enough that I don't care. Whatever they're born as, I want them to live free. I'm not a slave driver. I don't want them to live within my indoctrination, what I want for them. I want them to live free. You know, put them on the floor. I would put them on the floor with some Barbie dolls and some makeup kits and the cooking sets and Godzilla and some G.I. Joes, and hey, go play. And whatever you end up playing with is good to go. But I kind of was that way anyway, to a degree. You think about, they go to daycare and they go and they play with things. But probably by then, maybe I already broke them and made them play with boy stuff. I don't know. But I never pushed them away from anything. I hope that they are living free with who they are, how they are. I don't get into fights. To me, it's silly to try to tell other people what to do with their kids or what to do with themselves. What I wish for everybody is for everybody just to be free. Whoever you are, you should be able to be that person everywhere. I think it's dumb. I think it's completely stupid that you got these men that got to go home and change and dress as women and walk out secretly at night. I think that's stupid. I want freedom for everybody. I think that if you want to wear some high heel skirts and some panty drawers and a dress, and was it Katera? What's that thing called? Kitara? I don't know what's called. I think you should wear it to work. I do. I want to live in a world where we come to work and you got the wig on. I need to see that. We should do that. If you want to come as a pup, and the things that Ty do, I think you should be able to do that everywhere, at all times, at all places, with everybody, at every restaurant. We need to stop trying to enslave each other, y'all. Slavery at some point has to end. Stop trying to enslave other people to what you think. That's how I get down. That's what I believe. I want everybody to be free, because kids are kids. See, it's funny. People can enslave you as an adult. As an adult, they can look at you and like, you're wrong. You need to be like me, because I'm better. You can do that as an adult, but when you look at these kids as kids, you're just like, wow, that's just a baby. It's just a kid. Like, they just want to live their life and be free and do what they want to do. That doesn't hurt anybody. And I think that's how I came to be how I am when it comes to that topic, being raised in the church, being taught, that's wrong. God said it's sin. And I said, well, that ain't God. There's number one now. And now I know that ain't God. That's man. And man wrote a whole bunch of stuff in that book and changed a lot of things. There's a whole root religion that we missed out a long time ago. And we have the archaeology facts for that. So you can believe what you want to believe. But for me, I picture people as children. I'm like, damn, how bigoted are you? If you need other people to be like, how narcissistic and sociopathic you gotta be to think that you so perfect and everybody has to live like you. That's the mind screw. That's the Matrix. That is the Matrix. All right. Yo, Brother Kevin, what's going on? Ooh, Ivana likes Tulsi, but I'm done with the circus. Yeah, I like Tulsi too, Ivana, but probably not for the right reasons. Probably not. I like Tulsi too, but I'm gonna let the Democrats know that it didn't work. I know y'all tried, but it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. They tried to pick all these fine women. They tried, it didn't work. Because they had some cuties up there. They had Kamala and Tulsi and the AO7. She's cute. They all got these cute, because people know that pretty women sell things because we stupid. They know that it didn't work. It didn't work. Not with me. It didn't work. They all pretty women. But we got bigger issues now. At my age, I'm no longer letting the PP, my pay make my decisions. Ain't making my decisions. Not on a regular basis. Not on a regular basis. You're not gonna get me with a vote because you pick pretty women. It's not gonna happen. The Republicans, sex does sell. I'm sure you got a lot of people. They ain't getting me. I have to agree with you, Ivana. I don't like the circus. I'm done with the circus. If I'm gonna watch the circus, it's gonna be some entertaining circus. I want to see some monkeys and some gorillas and some elephants, and elephants break free. I want to see an interesting circus. I don't want to see a political circus. It's nonsense. It's kabuki theater. Have you checked on your Cubs today? What Cubs, Kevin? I got some Cubs. Oh, you mean my little guys? Yeah, well, of course, I put one on the bus. I put him on the bus. Made sure he got up. He liked to sleep late. He's getting old. He's getting a mustache. Kevin, it's weird. Bruh, it's weird having kids with mustaches. I'm not getting any older, though. I ain't getting older. They might be getting older. I ain't getting old. I'm getting better. I'm aging like a fine wine. But it's the weirdest thing, Kevin, to have kids with deep voices and have their own thoughts. It's crazy. I sit there, I just laugh at. Sometimes I look at my sons and they're like having discussions, Kevin. I'm like, you're a person. You're saying people stuff. I look at him. I have these Dave Chappelle moments. Like, you came out my balls, man. So I'm powerful. This is why people say, "Oh man, you need to get down with the black people." I'm like, man, I ain't black. I don't know what you are. I ain't know what no slave owner told me. I'm a god. How I know I'm a god, Kevin? Because I literally pull something out my balls. Literally pull something out my testicles in a cornfield on the top of 300ZX and made of people. And it's got its own thoughts, man. It's got its own thoughts. Who's it? Dave Chappelle did that skit. It's making macaroni necklaces now. I'm like, man, these little things buying houses and cars and going to colleges and learning things that I don't even know. They telling me stuff, Kevin. They always, this how you do this, Dad. I'm like, whoa, they sending text messages like, man, I am a god. Then my little part. Oh, on that. Did y'all know? I didn't know this. The Egyptians actually thought that, because it actually makes sense with the whole Adam and Eve thing, right? The whole Eve did it all. No, she didn't do it. It wasn't her fault. No, it translated the geoglyphs wrong. The Adam and Eve story is completely untrue. But the Egyptians thought that everything is male, and at birth it gets flipped to female. Did you know that? And so during like funeral processions or whatever, the women, when they die, they had to turn back to men to go be the spirit, and they come back. They were telling me that yesterday, photojournalists, and I was just like, wow. I was like, I didn't know that, but that makes sense. It actually makes sense, because that's why Moses put in original sin in that scripture he got wrong from India, the Naga text, and ended up being the Adam and Eve story. And so everything was blamed on women. It had to be their fault, because at that time in Egypt, they didn't like women. Women, it was like America. The women were just above cattle. That's what it was. And so they wrote it in, and so the major world religions, Jewish, Islam, Christianity, all hate women. I'm gonna say it that way because it's real. But it made sense. At that time in Egypt, they didn't like women. It was like it was riddled in their culture that women were subservient to them, to men. Probably as a different species or something. That's just weird. But it makes sense. It's a good thing. That's why it's a good thing to be alive right now, because you have the internet and you got all of these truthful things coming out, so we can look at our darkness, we can look at our ugly and do something about it. Yeah, man, I'm good. All right, I'm about to get out of here in a minute. I got to get rolling. Citizens, oh, Brother Don is in the house. Susie says, seize the day. That's all you can do is seize the day. Jesse moved to Mexico by, California. Okay, he moved down there. Aren't you down there? Not sure, but I think he still lives there. Okay, so he just comes into uncivilization and goes back to civilization every now and then, back off grid. Had my kids, girl, boy, and they all had kind of toys from the start. I have pics with my older son, has a Barbie in his hand. Okay, yeah, you reminded me of something. When he was 5 or 6, and the younger had a pink tutu, and he was 8. That's awesome, and that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be, so they can become their authentic them. Like, that's what I think a real parent wants for their child. You just want them to be their authentic them. You want them to be free. You don't want to break them and make them into something. I had a son, Citizen Dad, you reminded me, he used to sing the Barbie Girl song. He used to sing, I'm a Barbie Girl. He used to sing that. And I had some questions in my mind when I heard it, because my other son was like, Dad, he's singing the Barbie Girl song again. I was like, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Something like that. He was singing. He loved singing it. He liked the song. And I was like, okay, all right, this is what we doing. I had some questions in the back of my mind, but I'm fine with it. I'm fine. If your child is born with a blue eye and a brown eye, they aren't broken. They're broken if you tell them both of the eyes supposed to be brown, both of the eyes supposed to be blue. Your child is born with no hair, they're bald the rest of their life. They're not broken. Ain't nothing wrong with these kids. There's something wrong with us. Something wrong with our society. We're jacked up because it's damn Jeckyll Island. That's why. It's a big club and we ain't in it. Free your children from your ignorance. G.I. Joe was not in my house, not too much. Barbie either, for that matter. Also, no toy guns. So they were old enough to realize the consequences of shooting real guns. We had squirt dolphins and frogs. Oh, yeah, we had to squirt dolphins and frogs too. But I had guns, so I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't lie to you and tell you that I was involved back then. I didn't. They had all kind of guns. Oh, we had big time guns. We had the plastic ones, the wooden ones. We had the pop ones. We had the cat ones. We had all of that. Were there any Barbies? Nah, but we had the Pikachus and we had the Teletubbies. We had all of that stuff. What my kids did. If we all started being sentient, there would be nothing to protect children from. That's it. That's it. And that actually, that's I'm in on you and Brother C. Because that's it. If we were sentient, if we were maturing, we were growing up, we were acting like we had some damn sense, there wouldn't be anything to protect children from. Children would be protected, right? It takes a village to raise a child. And when your village got some common damn sense, nobody's out there hurting children, killing children, because nobody would dare. Not only that, but nobody would even want to. If you were living in an abundant society that's smart as the bonobos, if you're any of your politicians were half as smart as bonobos and just gave people a bit of abundance, you wouldn't have to worry about this stuff. There wouldn't be any reason to rob and steal and kill. They use the automation to help the people instead of going to murder other people because they were bought out on the scam on Jeckyll Island by J.P. Morgan and the rest of them. If they didn't have leverage over the federal government, then people could actually vote for abundance in their country. But it's a big club. It's a big club, and your politicians ain't even got the text message. They don't have the number, the address. They don't have the new. They don't have the GPS location. It's a big club, and they don't even get to contact them. It's a big old club, and ain't none of your Democrats and Republicans close to being in the club. It's slaves. They got leverage over them. That's why J.P. Morgan did it.
But there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers, people who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork, and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. By the way, it's the same big club they use to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged, and nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all. Yeah. You know? And nobody seems to notice, nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on, the fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
I'm gonna end and get out of here. It's a big club, and until you start acting like you ain't in it, till you start acting like your politicians ain't it, just putting on a show because a creature at Jeckyll Island bought them. JP Morgan put in the hook to make sure that he could buy stock in the 12 regional banks that make up the Federal Reserve, a holding company that's trading in Washington, that's owned in Washington. Do you realize what leverage is? You have no, I'm gonna say you have no, you can talk about hope you change all you want. Talk about make America great again all you want. Until you actually understand how America works, until you understand the design that JP Morgan stitched in when he ensured the Federal Reserve was a purchasable corporation through stock and could be leveraged over the entire federal government, until you understand how the big bankers fooled you into getting rid of the small banks to have one massive bank that he could buy and all the other billionaires come, until you really realize that. You're talking out at multiple sides of your sunny anus. So go get that anus, son. Anyway, I got it. I got slavery. Listen, y'all have a great day. It was fantastic. Please, if you have the time, just go read the document. Just go read the law. 1913 Federal Reserve Act. You can go pull it right off of Congress's website, which will tell you right there the exact opposite of what your congressman will tell you, except for the one I talked to. You have no influence in your government. Zero. You need to act like it. Otherwise, your kids won't have a choice of Barbie dolls and guns and pop guns and balls and chewy things. Your only choice, your kids will only be choosing which Epstein Island that they will be spending time working on. All right, I gotta go. Y'all have a great day. Gerard, love y'all to death. I am out of here. Bye and bye.
Count on the fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
Come with me. We're going on an adventure.